Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. My name, of course, is Francis Strasmus, and I'm coming to you live from the summit of Mount Washington. We've got quite a bit of weather to talk about, but first, I hope you all enjoyed a very mild and record-breaking warm Halloween for most of us down below Mount Washington. Of course, we didn't quite reach our record high temperature. It was 52 to people. We only got up to about 48 degrees. We were close, however, but we had some stubborn fog in the morning that kept us just below, again, our daily record high temperature. But hope you all enjoyed that weather because we've got some big changes coming on. And yeah, they're really starting in earnest up here on the summit. I've got a sort of a new graph to show you all here. This is our real-time temperature graph here on the summit, looking at the last 12 hours or so. You can see how remarkably consistent and warm temperatures were, just a few hours ago, between 45 and say 47 degrees or so for most of the overnight. But we have since started a pretty rapid and marked decline here in our temperatures. We actually just dipped below the freezing mark for our last observation. My coworker Carl just recorded 31.9 degrees. So again, we are going to start icing up here pretty soon on the summit. You can see how quickly, especially in the last, I'd say, a couple hours or so, the temperatures have crashed. So we'll zoom in a little bit here for the last 3 hours. And you can see we started off just 3 hours ago, 36 degrees, and we've already fallen about 5 degrees or so. So, of course, we are getting into November, and this is very common for the summit to experience sub-freezing temperatures. But always really cool to see the passage of cold fronts up here on the summit of Mount Washington. Another calling card of this cold front has been strong winds. So today we've seen winds anywhere from 60 to 80 miles per hour. And look at that peak gust, 97 miles per hour last night. And if you look to my side here, you can see the haze chart here pretty active. The stronger the winds are, the more this needle actually is pushed out towards the edge of the circle here. And as you can see, we're about 2 inches or so away from the center of that circle, corresponding to a wind speed between 70 and 90 miles an hour. Some higher gusts as well. It's got a little bit of a spiky look to it today. And again, those are those instantaneous, strong bursts of wind that we've seen all day long. Right now, 63 or so miles per hour. Peak wind gusts occurring right after midnight last night at 97 miles per hour. But we have ramped up a little bit in the last few hours here. We've got a pretty tight pressure gradient or difference in pressure from between high and low pressure. At the moment, we've got an area of low pressure moving out associated with the cold front that's moving through at the moment, and then a broad area of high pressure that's going to be moving in slowly. So that difference in pressure, air wants to flow from higher to lower pressure. So that's really what's resulting in these strong winds. Take a look outside briefly, and yeah, not a whole lot to see here. We'll start to see some ice build up on the deck here as the hours pass by and the temperatures continue to fall. But again, visibility has been pretty much near zero or so today, as we've just been dealing with on and off rain showers, dense fog, as well as drizzle. We've pretty much had it all today, and of course tonight we're expecting to go over more of the way of wintry precipitation up here on the summit. Let's take a look here at the sort of regional perspective here. You can see a broad area of westerly flow. We've got a cold front that's just passed offshore here a few hours ago. That was right overhead this morning, giving us rain showers and occasionally some moderate rain as well. And that's well offshore. You see this cool northwesterly flow developing in behind it. If we zoom in a little bit here to the localized sectors, you can see tons of ripples in the clouds. And these are some of my favorite phenomena here in northern New England. These are mountain waves developing. We have strong perpendicular flow to the mountains. The air is rising and sinking with terrain. So you can see again a thick area of clouds developing. You see clouds thickening up as well due to cold air advection or the movement of colder air from above over a slightly warmer surface. You can see those clouds really increasing in coverage. And this is really the sign of that secondary cold front, the stronger one. That is, of course, giving us our respective decrease in temperature again. Just hit the freezing mark in the last hour or so here on the summit. Taking a look aloft, about 18,000 feet or so, you can see a deep trough that's sort of carved out here. The cold front again, and associated sinking air just behind it is moved well offshore. We've got this area of moist air moving in across the summits and again giving us those mountain waves. You can see really that deep trough. Then we'll zoom out a little bit here to the continental sector. See just how deep this trough is across Canada. You see an area of low pressure there tracking across northern Maine. That's all going to be sort of moving away, and colder air is going to be following it with that strong, again, cold air advection, the phrase of the weekend here on the summit of Mount Washington. I want to take a quick look now. This is another product I use. This is the SPC mesoscale analysis. A little bit of a complicated chart here at first, but what you're looking at is our areas of equal atmospheric pressure. So these lines here are isobars, again, areas of equal atmospheric pressure. You can see the front there traced out the sort of kink in the isobars. Again, that's well offshore, but behind it, we've got this really tight pressure gradient. Those lines are very close together. With lower pressure here, closer to Maine and the Canadian Maritimes, and higher pressure closer to the Great Lakes, that wind wants to flow from that area of high pressure to lower pressure. course, right now we're kind of in the thick of it to the wind gust, likely in the 80s as I'm speaking right now. So if it is a little bit noisy, I do apologize for that. But of course, we're rocking and rolling up here on the summit of Mount Washington. Another tool that I've been using today to track the front is the real-time mesoscale analysis, the RTMA. You can see a wall of cooler temperatures that's starting to evade southward. So we can actually take the clock back to yesterday evening, and as we move the clock forward, we don't want to go all the way back to Monday. Let's go backward just a little bit here. Yesterday afternoon, see how the temperatures remained pretty steady yesterday. Again, a record-breaking warm day for most of us across New England. But as we made it into the overnight, you can see the slow, gradual creep southward, or this front slowly, gradually creeping southward. And as we got this morning, the front was more defined. This is 15-minute increments, so please bear with me here. We're almost there. It's showing the relevant time. You can see the front really began to surge southward this morning and continued to do so throughout the day today. You can see the leading edge there going across the St. Lawrence Valley into this afternoon now. You can see the front has made a lot of headway, especially in the last few hours. Again, finally pushing the White Mountains there, which are that little tiny blue dot below freezing. So a pretty changeable day. We'll see this front make it all the way to the coast and temperatures fall in accordance. We're expecting near freezing temperatures all the way down in the valleys around Mount Washington overnight tonight. So what's going to happen as we go forward as this front progresses? We're going to be tracking some precipitation, of course. Up here in the White Mountains, it's likely going to be wintry. Overnight, we'll have on and off snow showers with a good upslope flow. So a lot of cool, moist air coming over terrain. Again, lifting that cool, moist air and condensing it into clouds and forming snow showers, especially about 5,000 feet from the overnight. We're going to be kind of battling some dry air as well. So the lower elevations will be cooling, but they may not get below freezing in time for that dry air to actually hold off. So they may actually just end up dry, and we may just have some ice to contend with down to lower elevations. So let's continue this clock here. We'll see things sort of continue through the overnight. We've got a series of upper level disturbances that'll be moving through, but tomorrow things will start to clear out pretty well. We'll have high pressure that will start to slowly build in, and so that high pressure is eventually going to move overhead later Saturday night and Sunday, and we won't really see too much in the way of precipitation as that makes its way through the area. So again, sort of a rough first half of the weekend up here on the summit. So we'll be icy and wintry. Again, the second half won't be too terribly bad in terms of precipitation and low visibility. We'll talk about winds. It's a bit of a different story. Winds will be with us through the majority of the weekend here, likely peaking this afternoon and evening. You can see a really strong belt of winds there. And again, that's associated with a tight pressure gradient. As that front really starts to move offshore, pressure gradient will relax somewhat overnight into tomorrow morning before picking up again tomorrow afternoon. Again, that high pressure is going to be coming in, renewing the pressure gradient and strengthening those winds again, especially into Saturday evening. And then Sunday, you can see the center of the high beginning to make its way across the Great Lakes and areas of Pennsylvania. And as it does so, pressure gradients will tend to relax, and winds will slacken off Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening. Also want to talk about temperatures, so we'll be able to watch the front now as it progresses in real time here. Let's take a look going forward into the evening. You can see these are below freezing temperatures. This model doesn't quite pick up on Mount Washington too well, but again, those below freezing temperatures. I've already made it up here at the summit, which is why Mount Washington is such an important data point. Shows really what the weather's doing, even when the models aren't really picking up on current conditions very accurately. Anyways, with that aside, you can see temperatures generally below freezing, above 5,000 feet around midnight or so tonight, and then we'll continue to crash southward towards the coastline as we go forward in time. Tomorrow's just going to be a downrate the whole day up here on the summit. We're expecting temperatures to fall back into the teens, below average for sure. Average temperatures this time of year are in the mid-20s or so here on the summit of Mount Washington. Continuing the clock forward, slightly cooler temperatures Saturday night, and then we'll start to see gradual improvement Sunday as high pressure starts to crest overhead. Get more of a westerly flow, and then it'll start to move some warmer air in, not warm by any stretch, but warmer than we'll experience Saturday. So let's break it down day by day here with our higher summits forecast. Of course, you can always find this mountwashington.org/forecast anytime. Again, we update this twice daily, so you get the fresh data 4 a.m. and 4 p.m. is when you want to look for those newest forecasts from the team up here on the summit. With that aside, let's break it down here for tonight. We'll be in the clouds, no surprise there. We'll see that continued cold, moist flow. As to the snow showers, with fairly light accumulations of a trace to less than 1 inch or so. Again, we're going to be battling some drier air behind the front. Temperatures, as I said, mid-teens or so. Winds will be from the northwest, 50 to 70. Gusts up to 80 miles per hour for the first half of the overnight, decreasing back to 45 to 60 miles per hour. And those wind chills are going to be no joke up here on the summit, falling between 0 and 10 below. So definitely a sharp sharply colder morning tomorrow as we're taking observations. And I don't envy our night observer getting used to those temperatures tonight. For Saturday, we'll be in and out of clouds and mostly cloudy skies early. There'll be a clearing trend throughout the day, and we'll see a slight chance of morning showers again as that disturbance moves overhead. And really negligible snow accumulations, a trace less than 1 inch. But of course, the issue up here on the summit is going to be the winds whipping whatever snow falls around, reducing visibility even further. High temperatures will start in the upper teens and then fall into the mid-teens. We'll have a bit of a reinforcing shot of cold air throughout the day. Winds are going to be from the northwest, 45 to 60 miles per hour early, 25 to 40 for the midday hours, and then ramping back up a little bit, 35 to 50 miles per hour for the bottom third of the day or so as that high pressure starts to build and those pressure gradients increase. Wind chill valleys, they're going to rise to between 5 below and 5 above, so still quite cold up here on the summit. Saturday night, we'll see some of the coldest temperatures of the forecast period. We'll be in the clear and mostly clear skies. The high pressure will really make its presence known across the area. Temperatures will be quite cold, lower teens or so, and winds will be from the northwest, 35 to 50 with gusts to 60 miles per hour. And those wind chill valleys, yeah, again, no joke, 5 to 15 degrees below zero. So if you're hiking up here, doing a nighttime hike, anything like that, you definitely want to prepare for wintertime conditions up here in the White Mountains. It's quite cold. Finally, for Sunday, more of the same as high pressure starts to crest over the area. We'll be in the clear and mostly clear skies. Temperatures will moderate somewhat, within the lower 20s, perhaps mid-20s by the next forecast update. We'll keep an eye on that as well. Winds will be from the northwest to 25 to 40, decreasing to 15 to 30 as the sort of axis of high pressure really approaches and those pressure gradients fall off. And wind chill values will start between 5 and 15 below and gradually rise to 0 to 10 above. So definitely not a warm day by any stretch, but a slight improvement to Saturday's mid-teens. That's all I have from up here on the summit of Mount Washington. I want to wish you all a happy, healthy, and safe weekend. And yeah, enjoy the cooler air and more seasonable temperatures. Thanks again for watching.